Okay, so there's a major development in the quest to find out the truth about UFOs and what the government really knows. There is a secret meeting we've learned that's going to happen next week between several Congress people and also the Inspector General, who knows a lot about this. I want to ask the man who interviewed David Grusch, the UFO whistleblower for NewsNation, blew this UFO story wide open about this. NewsNation special correspondent and investigative journalist Ross Coulthart joins me now. Ross, tell me about this meeting, and will we actually find out something new this time?
Look, I think we're entitled to be sceptical, Brian, because unfortunately the members of the Oversight Committee aren't all read in like members of the Intelligence Committee or the Armed Services Committee. They're not allowed to hear all the secrets. And so one of the question marks that's still unresolved is just how much the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community is going to be allowed to tell them. I don't think he's going to be able to reveal specific details of programs that David Grusch has already revealed to the Congress in secret hearings. I think what the best that they're going to get will be at least an assessment from the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community. And I think this is important. I think at best what they're going to get is an explanation for why the Inspector General determined that Mr. Grusch's allegations were credible and urgent. And I think that's very, very important, because a lot of people have said that there's no basis to Mr. Grusch's allegations. A lot of people have suggested that it's all unsourced, whereas we know that the Inspector General deposed witnesses. He actually got witnesses to come forward, give evidence. And so that evidence, I think for the first time, there's an opportunity for the members of the committee to actually get to hear what it was that persuaded the Inspector General as to the authenticity and the veracity of Mr. Grusch's claims.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And just to be clear, basically this meeting between several members of Congress and the Inspector General, this is the same Inspector General who David Grusch says he went to and gave information to. And David Grusch has said that there's additional information he hasn't said publicly that the Inspector General knows about. So that's the big point, right? Like, will we get to find out that information?
Well, I don't think we will. I mean, I think there's absolutely no chance at all that we're going to be told anything about this, Brian, unfortunately. I think there are people in the Defense Department and the intelligence community who are determined to keep this secret for as long as possible. And there is absolutely no doubt that there is evidence that David Grusch has provided to the committee, and also that's to the Intelligence Committee and the HPSC in the House and the Senate Select Committee in the Senate, and he's also provided intelligence to the Inspector General. And the most important thing, and I keep on emphasising this for people who keep on saying there's no evidence to back Mr. Grusch's claims, the reason why the Inspector General believed Mr. Grusch was that he did his own investigations. He deposed own witnesses. And here is an opportunity now for the members of the House Oversight Committee to get to hear at least some of the reasons why the Inspector General believed Mr. Grusch and asserted to the Congress that he believed his allegations, his complaint, was credible. And the interesting thing, though, that we have is that we know that the members of the House Oversight Committee are normally not able to be read in to these kinds of information because they're specifically kept within the intelligence committees. So I think there's a real question mark as to whether there's been a temporary read-in for the committee members, whether they are going to be getting an opportunity to get specific information, or whether because of the constraints on compartmented secrets inside the defence community, they're only going to be able to be given very general information. I fear it's going to be the latter.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.